Hey, welcome to Talking Small Press Comics, episode 47, with Steve Keeter over here, right over here, and me, Larned Justin, right here. So
that way, that's Larned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, we have comics from our trip to space that we collected at space, purchased, traded for, all that. So we continue with those for this episode.
Yeah, we were in space. You know, we took Elon Musk funded it, and we took a rocket ship up
to Columbus, Ohio. You wouldn't even think you could do that, but you can.
I thought we were in outer space with William Shatner.
Oh. I thought we were in Columbus, Ohio, and that was outer space.
I think you're right. That's inner space. That's space. Never mind. Forget me. Don't worry. I get a little weird sometimes.
Your mind is pretty well shot.
I'm retired. I have too much to think about.
Mm-hmm. Well, think about what comic you want to look at first.
Well,
what do you want to look at?
I think I want to talk about this one.
Oh, yes. This is very interesting.
Pam Bliss.
This is from Pam Bliss, The Walking Garden. And be careful. On the front it says, I am not a mammoth.
I'm a mastodon.
It's a mastodon, yes. Not a mammoth. And the mastodon goes for a walk. And I'm just going to open to a random page. There's a random page here.
This is totally cool.
And it tells you what the mastodon is kind of encountering and all that along the bottom. And then there's word balloons where the mastodon is kind of talking or thinking. And this won a Space Award in the mini comics category, by the way.
Yeah, well deserved. It's kind of satirical. It's funny, but it's very beautifully written.
Very
poetic,
different.
Kind of poetic, actually.
There's a little bit of a poem in there, and it's
Well, when I stopped
today, go ahead. I was going to say this bubble says, "Today I seek beauty and experience." Talking to the man in the moon, who serves coffee, I think.
Yeah, the understanding proprietor recommended, an outdoor display of ceramic art.
Yes, and which they do get to right there.
Right. But, I wandered by Pam Bliss's table, and I stopped there, and, and I just wanted to find something that we could review on the show, but I wish I had picked up a lot more. And I can tell you, because she is so talented, the artwork, this is beautiful. I mean, it's really nice. It's surreal, and it definitely deserved that award. It's it's not like anything else you'll read.
No. Now this is $4 postpaid from Pam, and I'll have her info in the description. And this would be a good one to pick up because it is an award winner. Maybe ask her to sign it. That'd be kind of cool. But this would be a nice one to have.
I should have asked her to sign it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a new appreciation for Pam and for her artwork. I mean, she is.
I went to
so good.
She has a web page. It's a mythical town in Indiana, and she just creates little things around this little mythical town that she made up, which is very similar to the town she lives in. She lives in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Okay.
But she has made up another name for an imaginary town in Indiana. And from there you can go to, I think, her webpage from that. That's a kind of a blog. But that information is all in here, and it'd be kind of fun to follow that. So.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with this. I was really impressed. It's one
Yeah.
of the beautifully written, beautifully illustrated comics I've seen in quite some time. So, you know, kudos to Pam.
Yep.
You did a brilliant job, brilliant work. You deserve, you know, this reward.
She puts out a tremendous
award
amount of
and,
work also.
Yeah, we
She
should all
has a
send you
lot of comics.
We should all send you lots of money. The government should send you money just because you're so darn good. No, but
Yeah, and come to think of it, the government should
No,
send
it's
me
really
money
good.
also,
yeah, they should send us money.
just as a general principle.
Yeah. If they do, we'll say nice things about them. It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
you know, who's the president or whatever. But
Not if they
us
send money. Hey,
Right.
you send money, buddy.
That's it.
You are in.
That's for sure.
Okay. What do we got? What do you got?
Well, we got a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah.
This one here, this one's called One Punch.
Oh yeah, One Punch. This is very cool. One Punch. This is by. I want to read, if I can, without glasses on.
My goodness.
I got to put glasses on to be able to read this because somebody printed it very small.
Well, this is by Michael Marcus.
The story and lettering are by Michael Marcus.
And Marco Evans.
And
So,
Marco Evans does
the
the
artwork?
artwork, which is
Mhm.
excellent. Very cool.
Yeah.
And it's about an ordinary guy that gets involved with superheroes.
Well, you know, he gets involved with supervillains first because
Yeah.
he's just an ordinary guy
Yeah.
with a good punch, and he has a close encounter with
But
these
see,
bad guys.
But he lives in a world, it says right here, that in a world of superheroes.
Hmm.
That's where he lives. But
Right. He's just
anyway.
not one of them.
Anyway.
But he encounters a team of supervillains.
Mhm.
There's 3 of them. There they are, looking quite menacing.
Mhm.
You got the one guy who's going to rob the bank, and you got a guy playing a violin, which kind of mesmerizes the people in the bank, so no one will interfere.
Right. Right.
And then they smash in. They're breaking into the vault. You know, they're going to take all the money and everything. But somewhere along the line, it's not just him. He's got a friend too. He's got
Yeah.
a friend who goes toe to toe, fisticuffs with a guy named Fayhammer. And this is the friend.
Uh-huh.
And these are the fisticuffs. But it doesn't go too well for him. But what happens, the bad guys go like a little bit too far. And our hero, what's his name? By golly.
I don't know. I
One Punch.
missed it somewhere in here.
We'll just call it One Punch.
One Punch,
But
yeah.
they go a little too far.
Yeah.
And our guy, who doesn't have any superpowers, comes across this scene.
Yeah.
Where the bad guys are taking advantage of a beautiful woman, and the bad guys have superpowers, but he just one punch, whammo, whammo. Thus, he becomes known as One Punch.
Yep.
And One Punch, and the thing is, he has a ring, a silver ring, and apparently the silver ring negates the other guy's superpowers.
Always comes in handy.
So,
Yeah.
I like that. What you're
Yeah.
holding up there.
Yeah. The one and only step to being a hero is action. You got to take action.
That's right. Don't just
You got to
stand there
do
and do
something about
nothing.
something. Yes.
I mean, because people these days are inclined to, oh, there's a crime being committed. Let me get
Oh,
my cell phone out. Oh,
let's
yeah,
run away.
that's my daughter. She looks like
Oh.
me, right?
Yes, she does.
Yeah, I just happened to pick that up, and there she was.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what they do. They all take cell phone pictures of the crime, and nobody interferes. Nobody
does
jumps
anything.
in.
So this guy did. And
Yeah.
it will cost you $1 to find out the story.
And
Which
it
is-
makes him a target, of course, of the other bad guys.
Yeah.
They're not too happy that he knocked out their buddy. I will show you this picture because I think the screens are. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that's a splash page at the back.
Yeah.
The
But that's
ugly stick.
really nice. Really
Yeah.
nice.
Then there's some other information about the Infinity files right here that you can read, and there's a title for you. It says Infinity. There are a number of different Infinity titles here.
Yeah, Infinity Fantasy, Infinite Fear, Infinite Femmes, Infinite Folly, Infinite Force, etc., etc., etc. And I guess
you just contact Michael at that. I'll put that in the description also.
And I wonder if Marco Evans, was he at the space convention? I remember there was another guy at the table next to Michael, Marcus. And it was a pleasure.
We met Michael a couple of times, but I never did meet the other guy. If he was there, I never met him.
We almost had breakfast with Michael Marcus.
He was staying in the same hotel we were.
The same hotel, and we looked over at the next table, and there's Michael.
Yeah.
And he's a cool guy, and he's a great talent. So, you know, that was nice to meet him. And space was a blast. If you guys missed it, go back next year, because we're probably going to be back next year, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be enormous. It's going to be 20 times as big as this year, because we're going to be there, and we're going to announce it ahead of time. So I'm just saying, folks.
Yeah. Possible.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
Let's go on. We got more. We got more from space. That's for sure.
This one is interesting.
Okay.
Stephen Hager was just across from us. I mean,
he was right. Yes, very close. Now the
almost
artist
directly across.
was not able to come. Bruce Rosenberger, who is the artist. Steve is the writer, and Bruce Rosenberg is the artist, and he was not able to come to the show. I think he had an automobile accident and injured his legs. So I think he was on the mend, if I understood right, but not able to come to the show.
But he did an excellent job on the artwork. It's cartoony.
This is very simple, everyday occurrences down on the farm.
Yeah.
And I would think these folks are maybe Quakers, you think?
Yeah, Quaker. It looks like a Quaker.
It looks like Quaker. I think...
I was looking online, and you see Stephen Hager. He looks somewhat like this picture by Al Milgrom.
Stephen has the bib overalls and a long beard, real long beard.
This is flattering. Stephen, you look good, right? But this is this makes you look 20 years younger, I got to tell you. I want Al Milgrom to draw me, you know. I really do. But
Terry Flippo on the back drawing this.
Flippo.
There you go.
One of the best, one of our favorites, definitely. And
but this story is just kind of neat. It's just basically very simple, down on the farm kind of stuff.
Yeah. I want to mention William Messner Loebs, another one of our favorites. You see him in Yeet all the time. Yeet Presents, but yeah, he's a pro, and he looks like a pro. I mean, it looks great. So he did the inside back cover.
He did the inside back cover. So these guys have connections. They get the folks to help them out a little bit, but they don't need much help. Their story stands on its own. Very nice little story.
You got these people, and they're doing a radio show.
Yeah.
A radio show, standing up with the microphones.
The thing is, you got to see the radio, because that's right. Where's the radio? Right in the beginning. Here's their radio.
Right there.
Is anybody old enough to recognize that kind of radio?
I'm old, but I'm not that. Oh, you are? You are that old?
I'm old enough that my mom and dad had one.
Larned is that old.
Yes. Older than dirt, as a matter of fact.
My granddad had a big radio, big clunky radio that he used to sit in a rocking chair. That is a super big one.
That's a console, and that's why when TVs first came out, they thought they had to be in these consoles like the radios.
Right.
So they put them in these consoles. But
They had to compete.
Yeah, but this is the radio they're listening to, and
Right.
I just thought that was kind of neat.
And the people in the story, the people who produce the radio show are going to have a live performance. And so you have to have the golden ticket. I believe it's called the golden ticket. Yeah, the case of the golden ticket. So this family, they're the Dingledorfers.
Yes.
They go off in search of that golden ticket so they can appear on the radio show.
Yeah.
And here they are. It turns out the ticket is on the forehead of a giant chicken,
Yeah.
a giant stone chicken or something, and they're all standing on each other's shoulders, trying to reach it.
But the chicken took the ticket. See that?
Yeah, but it's their chicken, so it's okay. He grabbed the ticket and got away while the guy that was standing on the shoulders of the other guy fell in the water. And you hear you see a cop here, Amos.
I like what he says here when he falls in the water. I done a wetter.
Done a wetter.
I done a wetter. Fell in the water.
Amos, no swimming in the fountain.
Yeah.
And there's Amos, he's all sheepishly smiling.
Yeah, I get it. Ticket for that. Yeah.
This is great stuff. I want to get some more stuff from Stephen Hager because this is really a good book.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
The golden ticket on the front running away.
Yeah. Case of the golden ticket. I enjoyed this one a lot. Want to get some more stuff by Stephen Hager, definitely.
Yeah, that's good. Different, very different,
Yep.
than what you usually see. So.
Yep.
Give your mind a little break from the superhero. There's no superhero stuff in there.
Not no superheroes there, just real people.
Real folks.
Real people.
Folky folks.
Listening to the radio and that sort
going
of thing.
Going to the radio show.
Okay.
All right.
These are books that we got at Space. Next time around, we may probably going to review, or maybe a mixture of stuff that we've received from people in the mail. Plus,
still got a lot of stuff from Space, though. We do.
We still have quite a bit there.
Yeah, but we'll probably have to throw in some of the stuff we've been getting in the mail because it's not fair to keep those folks, waiting. So
yeah,
be a little mixture maybe next time. But anyway, we're still going here. We got these to do. What do you got? Which one you doing next?
This one's from Brian Canini.
That's the one I had in my hand.
Glimpses of Life.
And that's exactly what this is, because this is like every day he drew his diary. And, it's just what's going on at that particular day, and he records it, draws the comics, and records it.
Looks like this one's signed. You went over. Did you get this from him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he signed it. He signed 2 copies.
Mine is signed on the back too. Yeah. So he signed both of those.
Yeah. I know that he had a panel. He was conducting a panel.
On how to do. I think it was basically how to do a comic every day kind of thing. I think that we didn't get to go to the panels because we were so busy at our table we couldn't move. I sold one book, so we
didn't go anywhere, but we had a great time. We didn't make a lot of money, but that wasn't what it was all about. I didn't go there expecting to make money. I mean, like I'm going to get reimbursed for the airplane ticket and the hotel. Not a chance.
Not hardly.
We had fun at Space because Space is all about us and the people we respect and the people we love and respect, the great talents out there. That's where we went, was to connect with people that we've known for years but maybe never met in person. I met some new people. But anyway, this is a slice of life story.
Different things now. His son got interested in manga, so he's kind of drawn in that manga style. There on that particular
page, I see that.
Yeah. So anyway, it's whatever happening in his life.
Yeah,
and I
it
think
starts.
this was
It starts on
2021.
Starts on New Year's Day, 2021,
2021,
with him sitting at
goes-
his drawing board, and he says, "I'm feeling cautiously optimistic about the year to come."
Mm-hmm.
So he's optimistic.
Yep.
And it's just slice of life. He tells the story. Oh, I thought this was great too, because he's on the next page, and his young daughter comes up to him, and she says, "What you drawing, Daddy?" He's at his drawing board. He says,
yeah.
"I'm drawing a comic." And
Yeah.
she says, "Is that you?" And she says, "Can I draw you?" And he says, "Sure." So she does, and he put it in the comic.
Yeah.
There she is.
There's
she drew
her.
him.
There's her artwork right there.
Yeah.
You can see.
And that's so cute.
It kind
That
of
was-
look. You know, we met Brian. It kind of looks like him.
Yeah, it looks a lot like him,
Yeah.
especially the black hair at the top.
The black hair is good. Yeah.
But,
But that's what he looks like.
No.
If you were wondering.
Yeah, it looks like
So,
that. And but that's wonderful. He had his daughter involved, and this whole thing. He talks about his wife is pregnant.
Oh, yeah,
there's
that's
so
right
much
there.
nice stuff. It's poignant and beautiful stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like she asks him, "Give me your hand," so he can feel the baby moving, in her belly there. And she says, "How does it feel? What does it feel like for you?" And he says, "It's kind of like getting a high five through a pillow." So she's pregnant, and and the story goes along. It details his relationship with his parents, and there's some family.
Yeah, they have a little family
feud, a little bit.
kind of thing. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
tension.
They're not
And he
getting
puts it in the
along
book.
that
You
well.
know,
Mhm.
he doesn't go into detail, but he tells you what's going on.
He doesn't go into detail, but he doesn't pull any punches. He tells
No.
it like it is.
Tells it, yeah.
And the artwork is just gorgeous. I mean, it's simple, but it really gets the point across.
I wasn't quite sure. This must be some kind of a. This is what he sees on the way to his daughter's preschool,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this sign in the woods here that says, "Miss Nee makes them pay."
I saw that too, and
it's
don't know.
political, I think. Is there
I
a
guess.
governor by that name, or?
I have no idea. It must be something
Yeah.
in the area where they live.
Yeah, it is. That's for sure. Because he
Where is
sees
it-
it
where
on
they
the way
live?
to his daughter's preschool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And there's a little bit of a.
Is
Can
it
you hear that?
close to you?
We got a
Is
storm
it
going on here.
Storm. Yeah.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hear it really loud.
There are people in high places that don't want us to talk about your comics, but it's not going to stop us. If lightning strikes, the place starts to burn down. What happened?
Oh. Wait.
Larned has a wife, folks. Her name is Kathy.
We gotta give her the car keys here.
Yeah.
There you go. Needed the car keys.
Tell her to be careful about the thunder when you go out.
Yeah.
So.
Of course, the thunder's in Florida, and I'm in St. Louis, so I think we'll be all right.
Okay, that's good. I hope so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this is a typical, it's summertime Florida thunderstorm. These storms pop. It gets so hot, and all of a sudden it'll pour down raining for like 30 minutes, and then it won't rain anymore. And lightning, thunder, the whole thing. The roof about to blow off the house, but then it subsides. and we're used to this. It doesn't even happen during one of my shows, our shows, but
that's okay.
That's cool. This
they
is
know
real life.
Thunder.
That just shows you this is real life, people.
Mm-hmm.
We're real people here talking about your real comics.
Yes.
So
what's the next real comic we're talking about? What do we got?
I'm just finishing up here. I'm still looking at this because I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed with Brian Canini's artwork, and there's his wife going to have the baby, and I thought it would end with her having the baby, but it actually doesn't end. They kind of leave that to your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I regret that I didn't talk to him or meet him at the convention, but you did. and that's a good
I
thing.
met him also years ago when he was very young at the convention.
Uh-huh.
And I think him and I rode to the Laughing Ogre comic shop together,
Oh,
if I
yeah?
remember right. I don't know if he remembered that, but I remembered it.
Yeah. So next time I definitely want to walk up to him, shake his hand, and say, "Hey, I
He was very
love
busy.
what you're doing."
You know what he was doing was promoting the Columbus Scribbler, which is a newspaper that all the cartoonists in Columbus, Ohio, contribute to. We have copies of that. We'll get that on here and show you what it looks like, but not in this episode, but we will. But that's what he was doing, because that was kind of his thing, the Columbus Scribbler. He was very influential in getting that going, and it's very cool looking. So, all right, let's go on to what do we got next.
Okay, I got Dream Diary here from Larry Johnson.
All righty, Larry.
One of our
Larry. Yep.
favorites. This is a comic. This is the second issue. Nice back cover there. But he details what happens in his dreams.
Yeah.
Kind of fascinating. What he does, and this takes real discipline. Years ago, I read about H.P. Lovecraft, the great writer, supernatural writer H.P. Lovecraft, used to write down his dreams. But what happens? You wake up and you forget your dreams very quickly. You might remember them for a second, but if you don't stick with it, you're going to forget them. H.P. Lovecraft had a discipline where he would get up, as soon as he got up, straight to the pen and ink and write the dreams down. And then he would use those as the basis of some of his stories. But that's a real discipline, and Larry Johnson has also managed this discipline. He says he's been doing it for like 30 years. Writing down his dreams, as strange as they might be.
Yeah, it's full color throughout.
Yeah,
full color. There's some comments from people about it. There's all kinds of these strange dreams that he illustrates.
I got a kick out of this one. He dreams that he sees these chickens, and they're all armed. They're shooting
armed chickens. Yes.
Yeah, armed chickens shooting like BBs at people. Shooting.
Yeah.
And one of them wanders off and comes back pulling an atomic bomb. So Larry hides behind a stone wall, like, that's going to protect him for sure from that atomic bomb, right?
Yeah. You can do what you want with your dreams. You can, there you go.
Well,
it goes from armed chickens to atomic bombs.
Yeah.
All in the same dream.
And then a dragon pops up.
Yeah.
And there's a group of like high school girls all sitting there, oblivious to the dragon that's hovering over them, but they're just they're doing whatever they're doing, working on a project or whatever. They're just relaxing, and you see Larry himself will pop up occasionally, just like you see his face. He's like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah.
So
the dragon, the girls do get alerted to the dragon right there. You can see that.
Yeah. Yeah. And he flaps his wings at a furious pace. Eventually, the girls, they do. They kind of, because he's flapping his wings so hard, they all just get catapulted off from the wind.
Yeah.
This one was kind of funny. Some of them were. There's interesting stuff. I like this one. Story in here, Dream Diary. Now you know that Larry does Madame Bougala, and he's kind of inspired by the whole gypsy way of life. And this one he did actually in 1995. I don't know if it's the original art or if he redid it, but I mean the first panel. It's not. This isn't like a humorous zine. It's just whatever happens. But I thought this was kind of funny. He's dreaming. A fat old gypsy man was living in my friend's refrigerator.
Yeah.
I kind of laugh out of that.
I don't know what he is drinking before he goes to bed, but it's apparently quite potent.
I think it's pure imagination, because Larry has an incredible imagination. The stories that he writes are so funny. They're not funny necessarily. They're adventures, they're supernatural, they're all kinds of stuff. But Larry has one amazing imagination. He even sees himself. The first story in it is called Dead Larry.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dead Larry. Larry's at home and he sees himself, no clothes on, but he sees himself, and apparently it's either him or a clone, but he's dead.
Yeah.
So Larry sees, but then at the end, the guy, the clone guy, opens his eyes and he's staring at him.
That's how it is. That's the way dreams end, like that.
So that's weird.
You wake
He
up.
talks about lucid dreams. There are dreams, and Larry mentions lucid dreams. These are the ones where you're just about to wake up, but you're not quite awake, and you realize you're dreaming. And then you have control over your dream, so you can control it for a little bit. And that's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you've had that happen, right? Where you realize you're dreaming and you take control.
I don't know if I take control, but I realize, holy cow, that was a dream. That's not real.
Yeah,
I've had that happen many times.
Yeah. Oh, you dream that you woke up, you're awake, and then you, but you're not. But you think you're awake.
Really
You're dreaming that you woke up from the dreams, but then incredible things start to happen, and you realize, okay, I'm not really awake. Dreams are amazing, and you know, it's our imaginations are in full force. You know, he dreams he's at a movie theater, and you know, he's there to watch the movie, but somebody hands him an old 8mm movie projector and says that he has to show the movie, which is Betty Boop.
Betty Boop.
But there's a guy next to him. Who's shaking his shoulders, and people are all mad at him. They're looking back at him. They're angry because the movie is shaky, but it's not his fault.
Oh boy! Wow! Wowie wowie. Anyway, if you want to find out what Larry's dreaming about, I'll have all his contact information below. And I think this is $7.50, Larry told me.
So beautifully illustrated.
And it's actually, this is number 2, so he did another one.
Yeah.
And page count on here, don't remember.
Oh, he finds himself in the Army, in boot camp. But he's 60 years old. And the drill sergeant is fussing at him. You know, he can't climb the rope climbing, but he can't do it because he's 60 years old. And so the drill sergeant keeps fussing at him, and he says, "Well, what does he say? Well, at some point he tells him, you know, I should have done it. It should have been 40 years ago. I'm too old for this." But that was his dream.
Yeah. So there you go, Larry's dreams.
Yeah. He also mentions meeting Barbara Streisand, Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, Lou Costello, Eddie Van Halen, and other people in his dreams. So there you go. That's Larry Johnson. We love his work. Horseman is an absolute masterpiece, and this is wonderful as well. So
yeah.
Dream Diary.
Find out what he's dreaming about.
Time for some water.
Oh, water. There's plenty of water outside at your place, it sounds like.
Yeah, it sounds that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's dig into Bill Widener's
Oh,
books.
yeah. Okay, these are minis. Okay? And we have 6 of them.
I got 5. You got 5 or 6?
5 of them, I'm sorry. I meant
5,
to say
that's
5.
okay.
And, but he must have had 30 more different ones on his rack and his thing.
Well,
but
Bill,
they're public domain a lot of it is public domain things that he has clipped out and put in the book, and then I think he adds the word balloons and things like that to them.
Yeah. Most of the time the artists are credited. Sometimes they're not.
Yeah. But like this crime, that may have been a cover of a crime magazine, you know.
You look at the crime issue. That was
this is the crime issue.
Issue number 25, where he delves into the crime comics of like the late 40s and the 1950s.
Yeah, that's what he's showing you here. And
some of which had really cool covers.
And some of it he draws himself. There's all kinds of, you know, stuff, things like that.
A lot of interesting stuff.
Gun Mall, yeah.
Gun Mall. He's even got a picture by Norman Rockwell here.
Yeah.
Norman
so
Rockwell.
All kinds of stuff. And
so what was it about the Norman Rockwell? Norman Rockwell, Shuffleton's Barbershop from 1950.
Here's another crime magazine cover that he writes about.
Crime Does Not Pay. I remember this.
Yeah.
One of the popular crime magazines. You know, when the Comics Code came along, a lot of the crime comics just disappeared.
Yeah.
They didn't want to emphasize crime. But that's interesting too. If you go back, now this is this issue, but I just want to mention, if you go back to that first one I was showing you, which was issue number 9, he has right at the front, he reprints an article by Charles F. Murphy, and the type is very tight, but this is very tiny. But this was he was the head of the Comics Code Authority when the comic, you know, when they started censoring comic books because of protests, and Dr. Andrew Wortham, who was leading a crusade against comics. They established the Comics Code. The comics that were printed, that were published at that time, and there was over 300 titles published every month. There were really a lot. There were really a lot of comics coming out in those days, and they sold magnificently. They sold millions and millions, way more than they do now. People go to the movies and stuff, but they don't buy the comics as much anymore, which I don't really blame them for, because I've seen some of the recent comics and they're just not as cool. But but this is an article. This is
which book is that you're looking at?
That's this one.
Oh, funny. So okay, yeah, I have that.
It came out in 2015. It's got the front cover is Two-Face from Batman.
Yeah.
Two-Face. It's a wraparound cover, but it's got this article in the front, and this guy Charles Murphy was the head of the Comics Code Authority. And I was reading the article, and the comic book publishers submitted the artwork to him before it was colored. They submitted the large size tabloid size before it was reduced, the original artwork to the Comics Code Authority, and this guy and his team had to look over. They looked over all of they read the entire comics before they were published, and they either stamped them with the Comics Code, or they rejected them, or you know, either sometimes they would send them back and say, okay, you need to fix this. But that's the kind of power they had.
Yeah.
So that was the Comics Code. There's a picture in here. It looks like Steve Willis.
It does, but I don't think it is. But it does look like some of Steve Willis's work.
Yeah, it looks like his style. That's interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't say who that is, but it looks like Steve.
One of my favorite of all the ones he sent is the Monster issue.
Yeah, the Monster issue is pretty cool. Yeah.
Number 23.
Yeah.
It's got his own artwork, and he also
and he's got a lot of this kind of stuff in there too.
Cover reproductions of Marvel comics. This is one that reprinted the Monster comics of the 1950s, because before the Fantastic Four, Marvel Comics was doing monster comics. Like all of their titles, except for they had some love titles, Was monster. Oh, that's a cool one.
This is Bill's story.
Yeah.
He drew this and wrote it and all that.
Yeah.
So his story is right there, and it's a couple pages long, you know.
He swears it's a true story.
Yeah. But he's kind of tongue-in-cheek, I think, maybe.
Maybe. It says he was visiting some friends on a farm.
Yeah, he was
some
a little
relatives.
kid.
Right, and he looked out the window and he saw exactly what you're showing, a monster.
Yeah, a monster out there.
A monster with glowing eyes.
Yeah. So, we don't know.
And, and he got under the covers.
That's where you go, you know.
Here.
That's how you get away from the monsters. You always go under the covers.
He went under the covers and the monster went away. If I can get this straight here. And at the end, it's the next morning. He says he never told anybody about this, but you can see the big wide eyes. I guess he didn't sleep well that night.
Not too good.
Yeah, but he swears this is story. This is true. He looked out the window and he saw this beast.
Some other stuff that's in here. Cellar Dweller. I believe that is from. It says 1970s Marvel.
Yeah.
And behind my door waits Medusa.
Has to be Medusa. It looks like part of it was torn off, right?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, it is torn off because Medusa doesn't make anything. Yeah. But it's so old that part of the cover got torn off when he reproduced it.
Look at this one. You know about the Guardians of the Galaxy and Groot?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was originally an evil version of Groot in the old Marvel Monster comics. Yeah. But I guess there was. There he is right there. You can't mistake that.
Yeah.
That's Groot. I am Groot. But this is in something called Monsters, a reprint title. Marvel reprinted a lot of their early stuff, and Bill was a big fan, so apparently he collected a lot of this stuff. Really cool.
Some of this is so small it's hard to read, but I wanted to look at this.
And it looks like
this kind of thing. Look at this. And look at the
White Zombie.
Yeah.
Is that Bill Widener's artwork?
That's what I'm trying to find out. This guy is reviewed by Bill, but I don't think he drew this one. Yeah. Some of the print is very small.
Well, I mean, that's supposed to be him in the first.
Ed Roth type hot rod drawing right there in the bottom. If you know who Ed Roth was.
Yep. So yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a really cool story. It's absolutely it's insane. It's extreme, and it's all about White Zombie, the band.
And they got things like this in there. So he just puts all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah.
This one has a complete. I can't really do it, but it will fold out. It's somehow. Oh, it's attached at the bottom. And we noticed a couple of his comics aren't trimmed at the bottom very well.
Yeah, I encountered that.
I'm going to see if I can open this one. I wanted to show it without.
When I have this. I have my box cutter that I use at work to open packages. So I just slit the bottom of the pages and I open those rascals up.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's what it looks like when you open it up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So there's just all kinds of stuff like that in these. Yeah. And these run about, well, the monster one's a little bigger. That's $3.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the other ones are $2, basically. So, you know, basic. And this one a little bit smaller. That's $1. So, and let's see. The crime one, which has a lot in it, is only $2. That one's $2.
Here's a drawing by Bill Widener, and I think the most recent issue. Sexy lady with a giant eel wrapped around her.
Is that in Suave?
Yeah, that's in the Suave issue.
Yeah.
And this one's interesting. This one has to do a lot with the the sexy titles, the
Yeah.
sexual innuendo titles, you know, that were published years and years ago. I thought there was something called Sex to Sexty that I used to see on the stands. I'd go and I would see that, and it's all these sexy comics. They didn't go too far. They didn't have absolute nudity and none of that stuff, but they just had a lot of suggestive stuff in it. So he's, yeah, I mean, you know, like here on the contents page, that's an old illo by somebody.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it's a little unusual because some of the stuff, I don't know what it has to do with the theme, but, you know. Because those guys aren't what I would call sexy. Unless,
No.
Yeah.
This is the back cover from something called Cartoon Comedy Parade.
Yeah.
There's a lady here, she says, "Stop pestering me or I'll call a justice of the peace."
See, he didn't want to get married, but...
Right.
So she's threatening him.
Let's see, and the only other one that we haven't mentioned here is issue number 21.
Yeah, Comics Funnies.
Adventures
Comics
in Arch
Funnies.
City. Yep.
And here's something from somewhere on the back that he found and put on the back.
Uh-huh. Yep.
This one's $2.
In color, folks. What do we got here?
Now the first 2 pages are by Bill. That's his artwork, those 2 pages.
Mm-hmm. And he does this color, it's a very simple little color 4-panel strip where his kitty cat Milo gets in bed with him. And he says, "It's kind of nice." And you have to look hard, but it's purr mixed with z. So they're snoozing together, and they're both happy.
Yeah.
Simple, but it gets across. It gets the point across. Kitty cats can make you happy, people.
So anyway.
So yeah. There's more.
Something by Durf in here. You guys know who Durf is?
I don't know. I heard of him through this title.
Yeah.
Here's one by Bill.
Durf.
Different
Another
people.
Durf drawing.
Durf. Yep.
Yep. He draws very strange people and things. Yeah.
Yep. We got a Devo shirt on there. Who did this? This one is apparently stuff that was inspired by Bill's visit in 2015 to the Cartoon Crossroads Columbus, a 3-day festival devoted to indie comics. Cartoon Crossroads Columbus, which is right there, CXC.
Oops.
So
Excuse me for
apparently,
1 second, I dropped something. I've got to get it.
So these are comics apparently inspired by that particular exposition and stuff by Bill himself.
I'm back. Can't go very far with the
Okay,
headset
I'm
on,
here.
so I had to go get that. Okay. So there's a guy that has all kinds of mini comics. I don't think he does any other size except mini comics. So he's
But
got
Bill-
a bunch of them.
Bill, I mean, he came in like a little late on the first day, but he set up all the way up at the front of the convention. So apparently his table was way up there, kind of just down the road from us. But if you were to come in through that door, he would be the first thing you see. He had this all set up. And he's a cool guy. He stopped by the table. Larned wasn't there, and he says, Are you the Talking Small Press Comics guys? I says, yeah. And he handed us a bunch of zines. He handed me a bunch of comics.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Bill. And we enjoyed reading these. This was a lot of fun. Hope to see more from you. So, yeah.
I think we got one more. One more called The Electric Team number 9.
Yes, indeed. The Electric Team number
Electric
9.
Team number
From
9.
Leighton Connor.
Leighton Connor and Abigail Connor. The story is by Abigail Connor and Leighton and Samantha Albert. And art is by Samantha Albert.
Yeah, and you know what? I sent him a message about this because I wanted to know who Abigail Connor was. And I received this message back. He says, thanks. The artist, what do we say the artist was? Samantha
the
Albert?
artist is Samantha Albert.
He says the artist is Sam Albert. The co-writer, Abigail Connor, is his daughter. That is Leighton's daughter.
Leighton's daughter? Okay.
And she calls herself Blue, B-L-U now, so she would be Blue Connor. That's
now,
it.
I don't know why he's thanking. He has a group of people on the first page that he's thanking. Huge group. But he doesn't, I don't know why he's thanking them. I don't know what they did. They might have helped with something. But if you look on the page, there's a whole list of people he's thanking there.
Yeah, man. Shout outs.
Something, you know, I don't know what,
but this is one incredible comic. I mean,
this is quite a story.
Really great. Now, this is just the first page. You got three characters here, three heroes in this story who are part of a team.
Yeah. And this is a strange land. And I think it's after the apocalypse, if I understood it right.
Oh, it says civilization has been shattered. In a world of magic, monsters, and tyrants, 6 heroes have banded together to form the Electric Team. And they're out to defeat 1,000 villains who are standing in the way of civilization's return. The 3 that are featured in here, 3 of the members are off somewhere else, but here we have Brianna, Plant Man, and Verka. So this is a Verka. It's an intelligent squirrel. And this is Brianna over here. And the other guy, there he is, that's Plant Man.
Plant Man, yeah.
So these heroes are talking, and they get into talking about Brianna's past, and she reveals a magnificent story. This took a ton of imagination from about where she came from and how she ended up in the team.
Yeah.
With gorgeous artwork, just beautiful artwork.
I was kind of looking for something here. I can't seem to find it. That's why I'm preoccupied. I wanted to show you something in here. Now I can't find it. Naturally, his parents were kind of strong-armed. His parents were like farmers, and since they didn't produce enough to make the government happy, they demanded. The government demanded that they turn over their daughter. Yeah. Which they did. She ends up in this beautiful place, and she is a servant. Yeah, she's a servant.
Lady Rigora, I think. Lady Rigora, who raises her the rest of the way. But somewhere in the beginning, she finds out that, apparently there are superpowers in her family tree. They skip a generation, so her grandmother had these powers, and her grandmother told her when she was 8, "You're going to have the power. It skips generations, but I can feel it. You'll be hurling fire from your hands." So she becomes a servant. Everything's going okay, but she's a servant. She has to work hard, clean the toilets, and mop the floors, and all that stuff.
That was what I was looking for, because and I can't find it, but I know they said she had to clean the toilet, and there was a picture of the toilet, and it made me think, did this place have plumbers? This looks very primitive. Where is that? I can't find it.
Right there. It's on like the page 5.
Oh, okay. No wonder I couldn't find it.
Yeah, she had her hands full there cleaning the toilet.
There it is. Yes. Yeah. And you wouldn't think that these folks, being plants and all that, would have a flush toilet, but they do. So they must have plumbers. If you have a flush
Yep.
toilet, you got to have plumbers. This is the only reference I found to that, but yeah.
And there was other servants, but they wouldn't help her. She did make a friend with someone named Shelley. She and Shelley became best friends. This figures later into the story. There they are. Shelley's on top of Brianna's shoulders there.
This has some really neat artwork. I'm not sure how this was done. I think, colored on a computer, maybe. I don't know. I can't do that kind of stuff, so I don't know.
I would suspect.
But it's
colors, art, layouts. Sam Albert apparently did this beautiful.
Samantha Albert, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she does some nice work. I'll tell you that.
At one point, her powers do manifest themselves. At that point, she breaks away from Lady Rigora. She breaks. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's that Orlando water.
Oh, this is $5. Pretty good price for something like this. This is $5. Yeah. There it is.
Well, I'd like to get into it, but I need to skip over some stuff because this could go on. She makes friends with a guy. He's a magician guy that she meets in town. His name is Jason. They get along really good.
His name is Jason Occult, which is interesting.
Occult.
Yeah.
Jason Occult. So they become great friends, and things are going okay. At some point, Jason begins to acquire even more powers. He achieves a cloak that makes him like a supreme wizard. He's more and more powerful. The more powerful he gets, the more he is obsessed with these powers, until the point where he and they travel through dimensions and stuff too. I'll get to that in a second. He becomes the ultimate, like the ultimate magician.
Yeah.
And he takes over this castle, and there's something in here that I thought was really interesting. Oh,
I'll just show you this real quick. That's Joseph Morris, our friend Joseph Morris. He did a pin-up for this in the back. Pretty cool. Yeah.
And that's Ultimage versus Octopus Jones. Now, you remember Octopus Jones? Octopus Jones was in Small Press Party.
Yeah, that's one of Joseph Morris' characters.
Yeah.
Octopus Jones.
That's what I wanted to mention. There comes a point where Jason has become so powerful that there's a company called Edict, E.D.I.C.T., E-D-I-C-T, who are, in fact, I saved the link here, because Edict appears in Small Press Comics Party from Joseph Morris. It stands for the Extra Dimensional Invasion Control Team. Here they are.
In Joe's comic.
In Joe's comic.
Yeah.
And there's a link. I mean, it's like these guys have combined their. They have a mythos that they've created. Joseph Morris and Leighton Connor. And
we saw Leighton spend a lot of time at Joseph's table.
Right.
He was there for a long time.
Yeah. So there's Edict right there, trying to interfere, trying to do something about Jason Occult, because his powers are getting way out of control, and it's affecting other dimensions. So as soon as I saw that Edict, I said, I recognize that.
Yeah.
So I sent a message to Leighton asking him.
Lost in comics with other dimensions, but that's just me.
Yeah, there's a little multiverse thing going on here.
I get a little lost with that, but that's okay. Here's a...
let me see here. A bunch of superheroes combine forces eventually. But Octopus Jones appears in this comic too. He appears in here somewhere, and we
I know.
2 weeks ago.
I can't find him right this second, but he is in there. He looks different in this, but he's in there.
That's a different art style, But he's in
the
there.
Electric Team.
Okay, this is Octopus Jones right here.
Oh, you find him? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right there. Whoops, like that. This guy.
Yeah.
Looks a little different.
A little different.
That's a difference in art styles.
Yeah.
But it's cool
Second
that these guys, that Joseph and Leighton are combining their intellect, their great intellect, to create such a magnificent universe. It's really cool. Really cool.
Nice. Oh, production values and everything are really, really pro.
Yeah. A lot of great artwork in here.
Yeah.
I kind of want to show the last panel, but if I do, it'll spoil the ending for
Probably give it away, but not too much, because you got to really read that and take your time reading it, So, good book.
Should I show it?
Very good.
Should I show that panel?
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do, because you're going to do what you're going to do anyway.
I'm not going to show that panel. But
right.
Just when they think, I'll tell you this much, just when they think that Jason Occult has been demolished, defeated, it's not that easy. I believe his own girlfriend, Brianna, casts him off into some kind of a pit or something. Like when the Emperor in Star Wars got thrown down into the pit. It's kind of like that. But, what if he could crawl out of that? What would happen?
I don't know. We'll find out in the next issue.
You'll have to look at the issue. Here's a really nice back cover.
Yeah. Yep. Great stuff.
Two friends.
Great
so
stuff.
this is wonderful. This is a wonderful comic. I'm not. Yeah, I mean that. I totally mean that, because I was spellbound watching this, and when I saw the relationship between this and Joseph Morris.
Joseph Morris, I was surprised when I saw that.
I was like, I want to see more of this.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I think that's I think we have wrapped it up. That's the last one.
Yep.
For this show. Now we got a bunch more.
Soon.
Yeah,
we will. Soon.
We will, because we got a bunch more to go through. So make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so that you know when we got a show coming up. Because they are, we can't have a schedule. We have to go by what comics we have. Although we have enough comics that we bought, we could do something. But Steve is the head of the UFO and has other responsibilities. I have no responsibilities. None. But Steve does. So.
I'm working on the new issue of Tetragrammaton Fragments, the UFO newsletter, right now. But I think I have all the materials I need now. So by this weekend, this should be completely ready to go to print. I might go to print Saturday, or I might go Monday. Kinko's is open on Sundays, I think, but it's only open for like 4 hours, so we'll see what happens. We're going to get that out early next week, too. Okay, so we'll be back as soon as he can get free. We'll do another show, so probably about a week.
Stay tuned.
If we can do at least one a week, I think.
Yeah, we're trying to do one a week, and it's hard, but for me, I can do one every day. But Steve, he's
I'm a busy man.
Yeah, busy.
A retired guy. A retired guy. I'm darn busy with all this comic stuff. Folks, check out our Patreon page if you would.
Yes, do that too. Yeah,
we'd appreciate it. It's only
we're trying to get more material on there, and if you have anything you could suggest that you'd like to see, let us know.
Right, you'll see a lot of stuff that we're not posting. Yeah, we do a lot of videos and stuff for Patreon that you're not going to see here. You're not going to see on YouTube. I mean, it's strictly for Patreon. We just have a handful of patrons at this point, but it's only like $3 a month, and you get all this extra stuff. So if you check it out, we'd appreciate it.
Yeah, the other thing now, I mentioned in the last video that we have a little store right near me, which is Red Brick Comics. Collectible comics and toys have graciously put in a rack of small press comics. So I'm putting your comics in there, and if they sell, you get half the cover price. The owner gets half the cover price, and you get half the cover price. I was just in there today, and nothing has sold yet. But
Yeah.
we're hopeful, and he's still very enthusiastic about it. In fact, he may be doing a toy show that his store sponsors, and he wants to have the small press comics in that show. Now, that wouldn't be until much later in the year, but he told me he would like those comics in the show. So,
Yeah, so if
anyway,
you walk in
those
the front store,
things are coming up.
if you walk in the store and you see that rack in the front,
Yep. Yeah.
just say, "Wow, what a rack!"
Yeah. Wait a
hope
minute.
his- Hope his
Don't say
wife
that.
isn't standing nearby.
Yeah, right. Be careful when you say that. But it
Yeah,
is
but
right in the front, and you can. It's right by the cash register.
It
so
looks
if you're
good from-
checking out, you can see it. And he talks it up. He's great. He likes what we're doing. So anyway, that's the story, and I think we're gonna close things down. So we
All
will
right.
see you next time.
Adios.